The other day we posted a report about Parchman prison out of Mississippi and those extremely horrible conditions. And in that story, it came out that Yo Gotti and Jay-Z was getting together and sent a letter to the Mississippi governor at the time and told them to either clean that prison up or we're going to file a lawsuit. Well, they didn't respond, they didn't say anything. So they ended up filing, as of now, a federal lawsuit against the Mississippi prison officials for the vile prison conditions. So it was confirmed that Jay-Z has sued the head of the Mississippi Department of Corrections and the warden of state penitentiary. Now, the suit is filed of over 24 prisoners who stated that the official willingly negligent in stopping the brutality that resulted in deaths of 5 inmates over the past 2 weeks. Now, I say these deaths are the direct result of Mississippi's utter disregard for the people it incarcerated and their constitutional rights, reads the lawsuit, which was filed by Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, at the U.S. District Court in Greenville, Mississippi. DOC Commissioner Police Hall and Mississippi State Penitentiary Superintendent Marshall Turner are named as defendants in the lawsuit. So they said we cannot treat people this way, and it's time to do something about it. Prior to the lawsuit, Spiro sent a letter to then Governor Phil Bryant, now the new governor who just sworn in, but Phil Bryant was the governor at that time period, on behalf of Jay-Z and rapper Yo Gotti, who took specific issue with the inhumane treatment of people at the prison, as we all saw, the horrible conditions. You know good and well, if dogs was in that condition, this country would go insane. PETA would go insane if they had dogs in those conditions at a kennel. But yet human beings don't matter. So they say the lawyer had warned at the time they were prepared to pursue all potential avenues to obtain relief for the people living in the Mississippi prisons and their families. The lawyer continued to say that this unthinkable spat of deaths is a culmination of years of severe understaffing and neglect at Mississippi's prisons. And he said, as Mississippi has incarcerated increasing numbers of people, it has dramatically reduced its funding for prisons. As a result, prison conditions fail to meet even the basic human rights. And it was also noted that people are forced to live in squalor with rats that crawl over them as they sleep on the floor, having been denied even a mattress or a cot. Now, they going forward with the lawsuit. Now, this is what, as I stated before, this is what we would like and expect out of people within our community who has gotten to the point they made it to fight for the community when you see something come up. So for that, I'll give Jay-Z props for that. Anytime any brother or sister do something that's fighting for the people, I will always give you props. Now, we can have disagreements about what people like Jay-Z may do, but as I stated, we have a right to criticize because we family, but family don't have hatred. Family will also say what you're doing is good. So that's good that he's using his funds to do this, because who's going to fight for those brothers? The families of those prisoners don't have money like that, because if they really had money like that, they wouldn't have been in that position, because most of those guys that's in there took plea deals. And when you take a plea deal, it's because you don't have money to fight it. A public defender, that is a person that works for the state. You might well go hire a prosecutor to work for you at that point. How many public defenders really is good out there that they can get you off? I mean, shoot, they go to lunch with the prosecutors. So why in the world are they going to sit there and defend you in your case? But hopefully this lawsuit will get Mississippi to clean up their act, because it definitely needs to be cleaned up. That prison needs to be shut down, that Parchman prison. Not fixed. It needs to be shut down, and those prisoners need to be moved to a good location where people can have running water and not have rats crawling all over the place. I mean, that's completely filthy. I couldn't work in those conditions, smelling that mess. I mean, the workers, as there, they would get sick as well, including the inmates. You think if the inmates are around mold, you're not gonna get sick with mold working there? So the workers have been exposed to it. And then a lot of the workers are corrupt. They're allowing any old thing in the jail. So, you know, shout out to Jay-Z for what he's doing. And we're going to continue to look at this story as any new information comes out, you know, with this lawsuit. But they definitely need to pay. The state of Mississippi needs to pay big time, in the millions, because people being murdered underneath their watch. They allowed it, and they need to depose all those prisoners and find out exactly what happened in there, so they can go at the state of Mississippi and get them for all the punitive damages they can get for them and their families.